Hey guys, welcome to Goodness Chick, and we are going to rock out today talking about opiates. The opiate addiction epidemic that's hitting our nation, and it's affecting so many people that it's overwhelming. And I know a number of years ago, there kind of used to be a stigmatized face of addiction. You need to throw that face out the window and realize that we are all susceptible, we're all vulnerable. So if I were to start with what is an opiate is a narcotic that comes from opium. It is used as a painkiller, and that can range from fentanyl, that can range from morphine. We roll into Percocets, heroin, and it is something that dissipates pain and can absolutely do some good things. But here's where the issue is. I believe in my heart doctors have the best of intentions. But it kind of starts where there's a disconnect in fully realizing the connection with addiction and how that goes hand in hand with the pills that are kind of almost on a vending machine basis being doled out and kicking our butts as a society. You could say, I've had people in my office over the years or friends, personally, professionally, where people have said, obviously I would never use heroin. Now, here's where the back door to heroin is kicking our butts, and it's through opiates. It's through these prescription pills that you're being given, or somebody that you care about, whether it's I've had a root canal, and I'm given this. I'm given a Percocet. I've hurt my back. I went to the doctor. I want you to take this. And where these pills, I'm taking it because I'm being told I'm supposed to take it, and not having the background, not being given the insight, and knowledge of what is this pill, because again, it's not a baggie of heroin, and we're thinking it's something that's going to help me, which it can, but this two-pronged reality that it can become habit forming. And whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker, anyone is at risk. So I'm going to hit on 3 different areas that I want you really to listen to today, in ways that we can guard ourselves when it comes to opiates. So the first one is if you or somebody that you love is being encouraged by their doctor, and again, I'm not trying to put doctors in a corner here, to take an opiate. I want you to ask, are there any other options that is not opiate based? Is it possible that for this A, B, C, or D, whether it's a higher dose of ibuprofen or naproxen to be taken, or is there something else? And again, I'm not a doctor, but I want you to have that dialogue with your medical professional. Are there other options that are not opiate-based? Okay, second one, moving on to, is look at your family history of addiction. Biological mom's side, biological dad's side. Does it run in your family? And you could say, well, nobody in my family is addicted to pills. Well, here's the deal. That addiction is addiction to addiction, that it could be, you have a grandfather that's an alcoholic. You have somebody, somebody in your family that is addicted to weed, somebody that's addicted to cocaine, heroin, whatever the addiction is. Addiction is addiction is addiction. If it runs in your family, you are at higher risk when you're being prescribed a Percocet. And this is where it goes back to the first one. If you're in that situation where, you know what, we're telling you that you need to have a Percocet, have that dialogue again with your medical professional. So now we're moving on to our third point, is that if I were to go into most homes in the United States and look in medicine cabinets, how many homes have opiates or prescription pills that are either expired or they're just no longer using and they no longer need? Well, I'm going to hold on to these because I need you to stop that. And if they are prescription pills that you aren't using any longer, they're expired, those babies need to not go down the toilet. We're not flushing those suckers. You're going to do a drop box. And at most, whether it's police barracks or township police departments, they have a free, no questions asked drop box. So there's usually certain hours that they have contact your law enforcement. They're trying to be very proactive in getting this epidemic that we're facing with opiates and putting an end to it. Because what happens when there's access and it's in your medicine cabinet, we kind of like subconsciously think, my back hurts, I'm going to take this one pill. Or you have, your kids' friends over, and somebody somehow gets in your medicine cabinet. You look through anybody's stuff. Well, I'm taking some pills. Now, here's where we're going to jump kind of out of our 3-pointers to the fact that we look at pills differently than heroin. We are wired because of all the commercials we've seen, what we've heard from friends, family members. I feel uncomfortable, I take a pill, I take a pill, I take a pill. And this is where now I go from, I'm taking these I'm taking a Percocet or whatever type of opiate, and why can't I stop taking it? I'm now addicted to it. And you don't roll out of bed in the morning say, yo, this is on my to-do list, I'm going to become an addict. False. It creeps up on you. This backdoor is what's happening with opiates. Their tolerance is building up because after I've taken some Percocets, I no longer get that same sensation and that high, that sedated high. I need to take more. And at some point, you start stealing, you start snagging them from other people, you forge prescriptions, or you're asking your doctor repeatedly or your pharmacist for more pills. And at some point, that door's closed to you, and now I move on. What's next? It's heroin. And we are in an epidemic, a heroin epidemic. We're losing people right and left every single day. Brothers, sisters, daughters, grandparents, aunts and uncles, I don't care what age you are. There is a vulnerability because it's coming from these prescription pills and it's kicking people's butts. And we need to stand up, start talking about it on a community, neighborhood, state, and national level because it needs to stop. And if you go to cemeteries in any town, there's a somebody buried there because of addiction. And Percocets, opiates in particular, we need to be educated because in this sense, in every sense of the word, knowledge is power. And I urge you to talk with your loved ones. I urge you to talk to your doctors and to become educated because knowledge is power. And I wish you the healthiest and happiest of weeks, and I hope you'll check out goodnesschick.com tomorrow because I'm hitting on this epidemic, and it's something we need to empower ourselves with, and it's something we need to be guarded with because if we're not, you are vulnerable and people are being taken down. So rock out your empowerment, rock out your knowledge, and rock out family, peace, love, and goodness. I wish you the best. Thank you for tuning in.